Our team met a sister from Louisiana in the United States who spent many years as a political activist, hoping to make a difference by changing the decisions of a secular government. But instead, the truth transformed her life.
My name's Nancy Simon. I'm a private music teacher in a small town in southwest Louisiana. I have a very productive and a happy, satisfying life, but it wasn't always that way. Back in the 1970s, I became involved with a group of young people who were heavily involved in protesting the government and in particular, the Vietnam War. We felt so strongly about the war that we actually blockaded a presidential candidate in his hotel so that he would come down and talk to us. During that time period, I also became heavily involved with drug use. As a matter of fact, I would say that it was pretty much a constant stream of drug use just about every day. Sometimes I knew what drugs I was using, and sometimes I didn't because other people would give them to me and I would accept that. Drugs led to a lot of immorality, and my sense of what was right and what was wrong was really affected. And I just didn't care anymore. I didn't care what people thought. I didn't care if something was a sin. I did whatever I wanted to do and with whoever I wanted to be involved with. One night, a friend of mine asked me about my lifestyle and what kind of future could I foresee for myself living the way I was living. And he told me that he used to study the Bible. I gave that a little bit of thought and I went out and bought a Bible for myself and I started to read it. What really hit me the hardest, I think, was when I prayed and realized that God heard my prayer in spite of the fact that I had so turned my back on him in the past. But when I was ready to come back to him, he was ready to have me. On July the 10th, 1973, this friend of mine asked me if I would marry him. And I said yes. And he'd been studying with the witnesses, so he also asked me if I would go to the Kingdom Hall with him, and I said yes to that too. After the meeting, a couple invited us to have a Bible study with them. And that night, I took the book, The Truth That Leads to Eternal Life, and I read that book from one end of it to the other end, and I knew that I had found the truth. That very same day, I immediately started making changes in my life. Both Harry and I knew that this had to be all or nothing. And within that same year, both of us were baptized as Jehovah's Witnesses. 41 years, Harry and I have been happily serving Jehovah together. And we're so grateful to Jehovah that he gives us the help that we need to keep our marriage happy for all these many years. Another great blessing we have is that our two wonderful girls have been able to avoid falling into some of these pitfalls that I experienced. And the reason why is because they were raised according to Bible standards that were taught to us by Jehovah's Witnesses. Almost every year for the last 20 years, Harry and I have been able to travel to remote areas to help different congregations in bringing the message of God's kingdom to people. Along the way, we made many true, lasting friendships. And what a contrast this is with the people that we used to protest with. I know that I owe all of this to my loving Father in heaven, Jehovah. And I would hope that everybody who's possibly has experienced some of the things that I've gone through in my life will give the Bible a chance to be able to help them the way that it's been able to help me.